Hello, this is Blue Star, Defender of Equestria, and this is my Afterthoughts review of Heroes of Mandalore. At the end of Star Wars Rebels. No! Darn, this series was just starting to get good, but I guess nobody else thought so, oh. Anyway, more to the season premiere of the final season of Star Wars Rebels, Heroes of Mandalore. Well, first I'm just gonna say some sort of like overview of the episode, then I'm gonna go into my weapons-free section where I just talk about wherever I want, so definitely spoiler warnings at that point. I think this episode was okay, not great. In some ways I was kind of expecting and wanting more, but it was okay. I do have to say, it sort of felt like they were kind of trying to do a moral dilemma, but I don't really think they succeeded because I don't even see a moral dilemma here, or maybe I just don't get it, but it's like, yeah, this episode was really exciting and cool, but I don't really see what they were trying to do other than wrap up this particular arc, which of course is what they're doing with this entire season, because I don't know the full story on this, but basically Star Wars Rebels was basically not doing very well. But instead of dying a slow, painful death, the creators of the show basically wanted to go out in a giant blaze of glory and end the show the way they wanted to. So I have a feeling a lot of the episodes are going to be kind of like this one, where they're going to be wrapping up, you know, story arcs and everything. It's like, we're definitely not going to be creating new characters and new story arcs and stuff, because they're not going to survive the next 16 episodes or so. Yeah, it's like, really, Star Wars Rebels was just starting to get interesting and just starting to kind of get out of the kind of the hole that it had dug itself into, and Thrawn was definitely an awesome addition, and I liked him a lot. He fixed a lot of the problems that the Empire were having, and that the fans were having with the show, but I guess it was just too little too late, and yeah, so this is gonna be the final season of Star Wars Rebels. Ugh. But, oh well, I think it will be pretty good, and certainly it'll be interesting to see what happens and what the creators have in store for us in the future. So, there was a lot of cool action and stuff going on this episode. It was pretty cool, but somehow I kind of expected more, sort of. So now I'm gonna go into weapons free! So if you don't want spoilers, definitely don't watch the rest of this video. So for the first part of this episode, it was kind of more action-oriented rather than anything else, which was okay, but it did kind of feel like, yeah, we're just kind of just running around just shooting things, and it's like, and with the convoy scene, I'm just wondering, what are they doing? It's like, why don't they just board the stupid transport and just, you know, go through the door and just go inside and just attack the stormtroopers? Why are they doing all this stuff? Like, what is Sabine doing on the speeder bike? And just, what are these characters doing? Come on already. You're just dragging this scene out. And I think that's probably exactly what they were doing, so it was still pretty cool though. And it was definitely cool to have some of the characters from the original Clone Wars come back, and it's like, oh yeah, I remember that character from Clone Wars. Ooh, that's cool. And I definitely like that. Unfortunately, I can't really remember her name because it really wasn't that big of a part, but still. It was nice to see things that were started all the way back in the Clone Wars actually become into fruition and basically be concluded in these two episodes, so that was kind of cool. And it was interesting to see Sabine's dad and hear from him, and have a Mandalorian who's not running around with armor and stuff. But then, of course, then again, he is a prisoner, so I would kind of expect that, so. But yeah, it's like he's more of an artist. It's like he fights with his art. I thought that was kind of cool. That's great. Then, of course, we ended this episode very emotionally. It's like, no! They finally really did it! They built the weapon that I thought I destroyed ages ago, and they used it on my own family to kill my own brother and mother. No! Oh, poor Sabine. That was horrible. Oh. But I must say, in some ways, I'm kind of disappointed that in the following episode, we learned that, oh, they're not dead! Oh. I'm kind of sad by that, actually, in some strange way. I mean, I'm glad that they're not dead, but it's like, oh. That felt like cheating, particularly when I go back and I see the scene again. It's like, Sabine's warning them, get away! But they're not. They're just standing there, just waiting to get blasted. It's like, there's no indication at all that they're trying to turn and run. It's like, no, they're just standing there, so. Yeah, I must say, this thing with this weapon, it's sort of like, it's an interesting idea, but the engineer in me always goes, I don't buy this. It doesn't feel like this would work. Well, then again, of course, this is a fictional science fiction universe with people who have all these crazy force powers, so yeah, but even so, it's like, I don't really buy this weapon, and in some ways, I was expecting something much, another way cooler. Giant beam cannon of doom that just shoots like a giant, massive, like, explosion that just, like, vaporizes everything, like, with a giant nuclear explosion was kind of what I was expecting. It's like, oh, it's just sort of like this thing that just, like, arcs, like, lightning to all their armor and superheats it and vaporizes them, which that doesn't make sense to me. That if you could get the armor that hot, you'd probably vaporize the metal too. So anyway, again, that's it was kind of cool that they actually did something with this arc that was started as like, oh, Sabine created this weapon and everybody thinks she's a traitor because of it. And now it's pretty clear why, especially since they really brought this point home that the Mandalorian armor isn't just armor to these people. This is part of their identity and their culture and everything. It means a huge deal to them. So she created a weapon that effectively not only kills them, but destroys their identity. It's like, no wonder they think she's a traitor. She's just made a weapon that destroys their very identity. It's like, ugh. And I must admit, when I think about this a little bit more, I'm kind of with the Mandalorians at first. How could you do this? It's like, really, you're a Mandalorian. How could you design a weapon to destroy your own people? Like, destroy such an important part of your identity. How could you do that? I must admit, I can't help but think, slipping into the MOP universe, me being a Royal Guard and everything, it's like, it'd be kind of like for a Royal Guard to develop a weapon capable of killing one of the princesses. It's like, why would I do that for? Why would I make a weapon capable of killing the very princess that I'm sworn to protect? That seems stupid to me. But I guess she was young. I guess. I mean, I kind of don't buy that either, sort of. It's like, she's really not that old to begin with, so it's like, I don't know how much younger she could have been and been, old enough to develop a weapon like this, so, Again, nitpicking a little bit. Again, I'm kind of with the Mandalorians. It's like, why did you do that, Sabine? But again, we all make mistakes, and, maybe she thought that they weren't actually going to use this, but then again, if you designed a weapon to the point where you could actually build it, it's not like this was a school exercise or something, I don't know. I do kind of like how this episode is sort of trying to go back and forth between who's going to be like the leader of Mandalore, who's going to have the sword at the end of this episode. Is it going to be Sabine, or is it going to be the other character? And they're trying to subtly make a case for both as we go through this episode, which I kind of like. And it was kind of cool to see Sabine, be potentially that leader. But in some ways, I'm not surprised when she hands the sword over to the other character, because A, she's older, and B, she actually has been in charge of Mandalore. And I'm sure this is not a responsibility that Sabine wants to begin with. So yeah, so that kind of ended okay for her. The season's still young, who knows how this might pan out, but yeah, I mean, I think the thing that bugs me the most about this episode, though, however, is sort of the ending, because it's like, I can feel that there's supposed to be some kind of moral dilemma here, but I just don't see it. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Okay, she's tricked the guy by making the weapon target Imperial armor, and he's on the floor going, okay, so now what? I mean, it's been pretty clear that she's not gonna try to, take the weapon and, use it against the Empire, so, again, I'm not sure. It's like, is the dilemma that we're gonna just sit here and just watch the guy suffer in pain or something? It's like, it's not like we're gonna take the weapon and use it to fight the Empire, or if that is, then that wasn't communicated. I don't really see what the problem is here, particularly when they slash the weapon goes critical, and kills everybody in the room and on the Star Destroyer. So it's not like, oh, it's like, no, you can't kill him in cold blood because, well, you know what, you just killed everybody anyway, so I think it would have been in some ways more interesting if she had pulled out her pistol and pointed at the guy and basically was going to kill him in cold blood, which I sort of almost think is sort of the Mandalorian way, to be honest. That would obviously be the dark side thing to do, but again, it's kind of like it doesn't really matter if she had or she hadn't, because they all died anyway, so nah. I think it really is as simple as is that I'm supposed to think there's some sort of dilemma here, but it doesn't really feel like there is. It's like, I don't get it. I don't see what the issue is here. What was the big moral choice that she has to make? maybe I'm just totally not understanding what the point of this was. And it was nice at the end of this episode, it's like they actually had a pretty cool, like, rallying moment, and again, tied up something that happened all the way back in Clone Wars, and sort of brought that in a way to conclusion. But again, the season is still young. Who knows where this might end? For all we know, she'll get the sword and then she'll die in the Mandalorian Civil War or something. I don't know. Or maybe Sabine will end up becoming the next leader of Mandalore anyway. I don't know. So overall, I think the season opening was okay, not great. It definitely had a lot of really cool action in it. And if you want to see the Mandalorians flying around and shooting at each other with jetpacks and everything, it was pretty cool. But otherwise, I don't think it was really that good. But yeah, I have a feeling a lot of the episodes are going to be this way, is that in some ways they're going to be quote-unquote rushed, in that they're going to try to do a lot in not a lot of time, because, you know, they're basically, yeah, it's like the series was basically canceled, so now we have to wrap up everything the way we want to wrap it up and do it quickly, because we don't have, like, a couple seasons to draw this out or anything. We have an episode to finish this arc and just do it the way that we want and stuff, and so, in some ways, I was kind of disappointed by the season premiere, but at the same time, it was still pretty cool with all the action stuff, but there were some kind of good character moments, but it's one of these things that when I think about it a little bit, it's like, it's not as good as I thought it was and everything, so. But still, definitely looking forward to the rest of the final season of Star Wars Rebels and seeing whatever story arcs they decide to come to conclusion and how things pan out and everything. It's definitely going to be good. I'm looking forward to it, so. Yo! That is the end of my Afterthoughts review of Heroes of Mandalore. This is Blue Star. Stay strong and pony on. Blue Star out.